It's less than an hour now, and I'm told that in some parts of the province there are still long queues. So what is going to happen if the 5 o'clock hits?
As we normally do, whoever that is in queue between now and 5 o'clock will be able to assist those voters. So it doesn't mean that whoever that is in queue now or just comes in just before 5 will be chased away. We will be in our stations and make sure that we attend to everyone that has come to the station until we finish those queues.
And then with regards to the stations that were opened, were they open on time? Were there any challenges that you encountered?
All our 4,809 stations were open on time, but we did have disruptions. There were 9 stations around Buffalo City, Nyandeni, Ngqushwa, and some parts of BCM as well, where there were disruptions. There were community protests, and the community protests were happening in places where it was actually anticipated that there will be disruptions. There has been demarcation issues in those voting stations. The communities, for example, in the 2 stations in Ngqushwa, in Amahlati, they don't want to be part of that municipality. They want to be in Buffalo City municipality. So it has been a challenge that we've been having in those 2 stations due to a demarcation issue. And unfortunately, something that cannot be resolved by the IEC, and it cannot be resolved today. So they opted to stay away. The station was open the whole day, but we did not register any people in that voting station.
All right, and then when it comes to other places that had problems in Nyandeni, how did that impact in terms of your work and your preparations?
It did impact our work. Fortunately, it did not happen before we opened, but there was an impact in that, for starters, our staff was threatened by the community protesters, and there were gates that were locked while they were inside the voting stations, and there's some stations where the station was locked, both gates locked, and with SABC members inside the voting station, and they were threatening to actually ban the station while they are inside. We are fortunate in that the SABC in this province is on the road. They were able to reach those stations. They were able to disperse those people that were causing disruption, and we were able to proceed with our work without any interruptions thereafter.
You also said when we were speaking earlier that there was some incident of theft yesterday. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, we had an incident where our device was stolen, and that person is behind bars. And there's also an incident of a councillor that actually chased our voting staff out of the voting stations in 2 stations in Nyandeni, that is in Libode, in the former Transkei, and that councillor as well is behind bars as we speak.
Okay. So was it a smooth process, this whole process?
I can safely say it was indeed a very smooth process, and we are very grateful for the weather. It's normally rainy when it's registration weekend, but the weather has been beautiful, and we are hoping that people did come in really in their numbers, as we've been calling them to come and register today.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was the Provincial Electoral Officer, Kayakazi Makutupana, saying that the voter registration was a smooth process despite some minor glitches here and there. With that, it is back to you in studio.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for that update coming out from the Eastern Cape.